Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're on the 14th hole here at Roxburgh Golf Club, and we're going to talk about a couple of tips that you can implement within your practice to start hitting more fairways off the tee and start hitting the ball a lot further, so it makes hitting greens a little bit more accessible. So what we're going to talk about is a couple of commonalities we see regularly on the lesson tee, on the driving range. Anytime you hit driver associated with golf, is we see a lot of golfers who set up to the golf ball and the natural loft on this driver is 10 degrees. What happens is a lot of golfers will place the golf ball a little bit too far back in their stance. So what that does to the loft is it actually reduces the loft and the ball is going to launch a little bit lower. So what we're going to do from there is we move the ball too far back, hands too far ahead, and we get our weight a little bit too much ahead of the golf ball. You can see from there that my chest is in front of the golf ball. That is going to create a steep angle of attack. It's going to hit, we can hit two shots where you get a pop-up shot that goes straight up in there, or a low shot you could top it. So that's great for a pitch shot or an iron shot, but what we're going to talk about today is what you can do within your technique to obviously try and hit more fairways. And set up procedure, you're going to turn your left foot out, so that gets the ball off kind of your left heel. Take a big step with your right foot, but just pretend that you're a penguin and you're going to turn both feet out slightly. So both feet are flared out instead of square. All that's going to do is it's going to help right hip turn in the backswing, left hip turn towards the target in the downswing. And what we're going to do from there is take your right hand off the club, wave at the camera, slide it down to your right knee, and then just put your right hand on the club. So from there, as you can see, my left shoulder is a little bit higher than my right shoulder. Instead, if we get too steep on the golf ball, left shoulder gets too low. So it's almost the feeling that I'm looking at the back edge of the club head. So my left shoulder's higher, right shoulder's lower. And what we're going to do now is we're going to implement a simple swing feel-in or technique that you can obviously implement within your techniques. As we get to the top of the backswing, many people kind of swing the club this way a little bit too much out. So what you feel like you're doing is get to the top, feel like the club's just working a little bit more wider. So feel like you're trying to get your arms as low as possible in the downswing. So that's going to allow the club to travel a little bit more from the inside. If I get my hands quite high, where the shaft gets steep, and that is where we get that kind of left to right shot. So get to the top, put your arms a little bit more away from your body, a little bit wider, and as we come through impact, that's going to allow the club head just to work a little bit more from the inside. So feet together, turn left foot, big step with the right hand down your right knee, on the club, left shoulder's a little bit higher, looking back at the golf ball or the club head, if you're somebody that gets the left shoulder a little bit too much ahead of the ball. So let's put that in practice. When I get to the top, the club's taking the widest route possible on the way down. I'm going to commit to that shot. Almost like that.